Alright gang, welcome back to our one-tile challenge. It is now July. A little bit of a later start than normal. We normally start around 8. We're starting around 9 o'clock today. Not really any specific reason for that. I just decided to start a little bit later. You may have already caught a glimpse. You definitely caught one now, I'm sure, of something that I placed down. We spent pretty much all of the money that we had. Well, not all the money we had. We have $6,000 left, but a good chunk of the money has been spent. On exactly what I talked about towards the end of the last episode. I said we were going to see if we could find something for the chickens. I have since done so. Now, the chicken coop that we put down is quite large. By quite large, I mean is extremely large. Let's do a quick autosave here. The reason why is because I liked the way it looked, so I wanted to incorporate that a little bit. And also, I'm going to turn these lines off. You know I don't like the lines for whatever reason. It doesn't really increase the chicken numbers that we had before. It does a little bit. I think before we could have like 20 or 18, something like that. We can now have like 31. So it's not an insane amount of extra chickens. Given the grand size of that structure, it's quite a large structure. But I'm happy with it. I like where we were able to put it to. I had initially thought maybe we'd put it up by the house, but everywhere that I was kind of picking to put it up there was kind of obstructing the view from the house. Now, full transparency, we really don't go into the house very often, right? And there's not really a reason for me to say I don't want to obstruct the view of the house, but you know, I'll try to keep it relatively realistic from that perspective, and I you know, there wouldn't be. Well, I guess there could be, but on a farm, you probably wouldn't have something like that completely obstructing your view of the house, especially since I spent a lot of time and effort figuring out where I wanted to put it, so we actually had a bit of a view, right? So, because of that reason, I decided to put it down on the very end, near where the main yard is, and it works out well. It's perfectly fine there. I don't know why I'm not dropping straw here. What am I doing? Whoops. Oh, well. It's perfectly fine where it was. I thought there was going to be a lot of land manipulation that needed to happen. I did have to spend a tiny bit of money on land manipulation, but for the most part, it was actually okay. And I think it was due to the fact that we have that lime production right there behind it. And that lime production already kind of caused some flatness in that area. So it actually wasn't too bad. Now, full transparency, there is grass that needs to be mowed over there. So it may not be as good as I'm actually thinking it is. I went over there, I kind of drove over it. It seemed to be okay, but there could be some rough edges that we're going to have to work on a little bit. So we'll kind of play it by ear as we move along. Now, obviously, right now what we're doing is harvesting our oat field. This is the only field ready. I actually expected the canola to be ready. It was not, so all the canola is going to be ready next month. So for the time being, we're going to be rocking this oat field. Now, this oat field, obviously, we can't feed chickens oat. We do not have a ton of money, and by we don't have a ton of money, I mean we have pretty much no money at all. So that's a bit of a problem, right? We've got to figure out, you know, a way to be able to pay. Well, I guess we have enough that we could probably survive with the chickens for a little while. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is we only have like 200 and something liters of wheat left that we could feed the chickens. So if I was to buy 30 chickens right now, I think we'd be in trouble next month, right? So what we're probably going to end up doing is buying a small amount of chickens, 10 maybe, I don't know, something like that. Nothing significant, at least not right now, and then kind of let them reproduce, or maybe buy some more later on down the road here. That way I can utilize the wheat that we currently have and still have the chickens producing some form of eggs for us in the meantime while we're waiting for, you know, either buying more or them to reproduce, right? So that's the approach I'm going to go with. So what does that mean? Well, specifically, did I need to buy that big massive building right now if we're only going to do 10? No, I did not. But we already removed the other one, and I wanted to have the chickens back. We did a couple episodes without them. It was time to bring them back, so they are back. I haven't bought any of the chickens yet, to be fair, but the coop for them, we have something for them so we can actually put the chickens down, so we will be doing that today. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. It's been a whirlwind of financial issues for me lately, and this is a real life talk. This has nothing to do with the game. So I talked about, I think it was, I don't know if it was on specifically this episode or this series. It might have been on both. I don't really recall. But anyway, I talked about the issues that I was having in my car. I went the route of just kind of monitoring it for the time being and seeing how things go. There's a small leak, a seal leak. It's not anything wrong with the engine or the transmission, but there's a seal leak between the oil pan and the engine that to fix, there's basically by the diff, but to fix would require pretty much dropping the engine out. So it was a very hefty bill to try to get that fixed. So for the time being, I'm just holding off watching that. Separately, not anything to do with the car, my personal body, I had, I don't know, for probably a year, maybe 2 years now, I had a skin tag that had formed on my eyelid. I've never really had a skin tag at all, ever, in my life, until that formed. I know a lot of people might say I'm pretty lucky with that, but I just haven't. I haven't had any skin tags until then. So, and it was on my eyelid, which is a really weird spot. So, I don't know, about a month ago, I went to a dermatologist, and they basically took some nitrogen to it, and it shrunk significantly. So it's been there, like I said, for like a year, almost 2 years, but it was very small. It wasn't really bothering me. It still wasn't really bothering me even when I went to the dermatologist. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get stuck in there. It still wasn't really bothering me, but you know, it was getting quite large, so it was just time for it to at least get taken off or at least get looked at. So they took some nitrogen to it, and it shrunk significantly. However, it didn't fully fall off. It's too far attached. So today, the time of this recording, they, well, not the time of the recording, but today, so this morning I went to have the second follow-up at the dermatologist, and she's like, yeah, I can't really get underneath it again to do another nitrogen, you know, another nitrogen, I don't know what she called it, I forget what she called it, but anyway, like a nitrogen, insert, I guess. I don't know. She used like tweezers and like held it up and like put nitrogen underneath it. I don't know. Something like that. So anyway, she's like, I can't get underneath it. She's like, you're gonna have to go to you know like an eye specialist, you know, a surgeon, an eye surgeon. And there was one like literally right next door. So she just told me to go there. So I went over there just you know, thinking I was just going to get an appointment set up, you know, something like that. And turns out they're like, oh, I think we could squeeze you in right now if you want to do it now. I'm like, oh, okay, well. So there I am, having surgery on my eyeball. Now, it wasn't terrible. Right now, it hurts. When it happened, obviously they numbed me and everything, and then they burnt it, you know, they cauterized it and everything. So it wasn't that bad. But it's been a couple hours now, and it's starting to hurt. Thank God the numbness is wearing off, obviously. So I had that done today, and what it feels like to me, I don't know, maybe somebody else has already had something like this done before. I mean, it's not like super pain, like it's not like excruciating pain, because clearly I'm doing a video, but you know, it's just like a nuisance kind of pain. It feels to me like somebody has a hold on my eyelid and is just like pulling it down, like constantly, and putting pressure on my eyeball. That's what it feels like. I don't know how else to describe it besides that. I don't know if that does a very good job of describing what it feels like to you or not, but that's what I'm dealing with right now. It's very weird. I won't share a picture or anything like that because it kind of looks a little gross, but it's a weird thing. I was never really expecting this to be what has to happen for it. I think I probably would have went to the dermatologist a little bit earlier if I would have known that this was a possibility, that I was going to have a surgery on it. No, it wasn't like, I'm not talking thousands of dollars, thank God, because I just spent thousands of dollars in my car, but, you know, still, it's another thing, I guess, to add to the list of things that I've been dealing with here in the last couple of weeks. The list of bad luck, I guess, I've been having the last couple of weeks of just having to make payments. So, now this is clearly something I guess I didn't necessarily have to do. But, I mean, I just felt like it was time, right? It was just going to continue to get bigger, and maybe eventually it was going to start, it wasn't yet, but maybe eventually it would start causing me issues with my eyesight, right? Don't want that to happen. I don't know, 12, 15 years ago, something like that, I had my eyes, I had laser surgery on my eyes, because my eyes were not very good. So I had those fixed. This was a while ago, and most of where I worked at the time actually covered almost the entirety of it. So it was very inexpensive for me to do. So it was kind of a no-brainer. When I paid off my car at that point, it's not the car I have now, the car I had before that, because this was probably, I don't know, this was probably 2013, maybe? 2012? I don't know, somewhere around in there. So it's been a while. But whenever I paid that off, I decided, you know what, I could really get this done for basically the cost of, 2 or 3 car payments, because my insurance covered most of it. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me, so I went ahead and did that. I don't know where I was really going with this conversation. I don't know where I was going with the story. I already forgot where I was going with the story. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, I had laser surgery on my eyes. I didn't really want the money that I spent to have my eyes fixed to maybe, I don't know, be harmed, I guess is the word I'll use. I don't think that's really the word I'm looking for, but, I didn't really want to, since I spent some money getting my eyes fixed and they're in, perfect, well, they're better than 20/20 vision, I didn't really want this to have some kind of impeding effect, so I decided just to go ahead and take care of it. However, if I would have known the car issue that it came up, I would have not scheduled to do all this when it was. Now, could I have told them today, hey, you know what, I just want to schedule it for a month from now or 2 months from now, whatever? Yeah, I probably could have, but, I mean, I'm already there. I might as well just go ahead and get it done. It wasn't, like, outrageously expensive, but it wasn't cheap either. It was still a couple $100s, right? So, yeah, I guess what I'm trying to get at is it's just been a whirlwind of bad luck that's come my way the last couple of weeks, and I'm not looking for sympathy. Don't spin it that way. Don't take it that way. That's not what I'm trying to look for. I just like to tell you guys where I'm at in my life and what's going on in my life, whether you want to hear it or not. That's what I like to do. I like to talk to you about what's going on, and maybe some people can relate, I guess, is how I put it, right? But yeah, I'm not looking for sympathy, gang. I'm perfectly fine. Things are fine. There's nothing specifically wrong. It's just sucks, right? It sucks when you have to spend that kind of money when you're not really expecting it, right? Emergency type of things. It kind of sucks. Anyway, we are nearly done with this one, so that's great. So when we get this done, we will probably go straight into baling this, actually. And then we'll work on the grass after that. And then probably get the chickens in, and then we'll see what else we can get into today. I don't know if there's going to be a whole lot else for us to do today. There might be something we could maybe re-drill in this field pretty much immediately, because this is oat. No, there's not going to be anything we can drill in this yet, and that's okay. We will be able to do that in the next episode, technically, if we wanted to make this a canola field. I'm not sure we would, but we could if we want to. So we'll finish this off. We'll bale it all up. And then we might even plow it up too while we're at it. As a matter of fact, we probably will. And then we'll take care of the grass after that, because the grass doesn't necessarily have to be done today. We've got plenty of grass for the sheep. It's not a problem. So if we don't do it today, it's not a big deal. But if we don't do it today, I guess at the same time, it will be a while before we mow it, because this is just the start of the harvesting onslaught that's going to be coming here. Now, we have done a better job, I think, of trying to rotate some of the crops around and not have so many of, the same 2 or 3 crops. So we have quite a few other ones, which some of them are still going to be ready to harvest at the same time, but other ones are going to be, at different periods. So I do think that will help us a little bit, right? Not having to have 4 or 5 fields harvested the same day. But, it's still going to be very busy for the next, handful of months, as it normally is. So we'll carry on. We'll get this going. And, yeah, we'll see where we get to. Oh, we were making really, really good progress, and a lot of you might be asking, and you know, what are you going to do, Z? I mean, you're running out of room to maneuver this, and when those trees get bigger, you're not going to be able to just drive across them a little bit like you've been doing here, and you're correct, I won't be. I've got a bit of a plan there. Is it going to work perfectly? I don't know, but I've got a bit of a plan. We've got the chicken coop down here now, right? And so we're kind of mowing up all of this area because this grass area down here is going to go away. It needs to be turned into gravel or dirt or whatever it may be, because we're going to be driving in this area quite a lot to be able to pick up the eggs, drop off the food, etc., right? So this area right here near the new chicken coop, which you can clearly see right now, it will be changed. Let's put it that way. So the grass field is going to get smaller, and that's the main reason why I've been saying it for a couple of episodes now, that I need to take the plow up here and plow up the area directly around the house. Now, are we going to be able to get all of that mowed? And what I mean by that is, are we going to be able to take everything that we plow up here and then we turn into grass? Are we going to be able to get all of that with the mower here and then the baler? No, we're not going to be able to. And I know that. I understand that. But there's a good chunk of this, though, that is just being wasted, as I like to put it, right? That we absolutely 100% could get. Like this area right here, right? All of this area right here is just wasted space right now. It's not even grass that we can mow. It's nothing. So, you know, turning that into grass that can be mowed is definitely going to help us. So that's kind of the goal, right? I said that this grass field was going to get a lot smaller and we were going to remove a lot from it. Ends up going a little bit of a different way than I had initially planned, but I'm still happy with it. I like the chicken coop there. It does give us a little space right here, potentially, if we want to put something in between this little track we've got here and the road salt production, if we want to. I'm not saying we will, but if we want to, we have that option to put something small right there. It would have to be small. It would have to be size like Grandma's knitwear size. But you never know. We might find something. Speaking of that, we also have another little bit of space over there as well in front of Grandma's knitwear. That's just a little tiny grass patch that we could do something with. I could also go mow that, but that is another situation or another area, I guess how I should put it, that is very difficult for us to get to, given the actual size of this. And that's really the biggest problem we're dealing with right now, is the size, right? Now, I could take the front mower off here, but it's not going to help all that much with the baler. The baler is still long, right? So that's one of the big problems, I guess, with square balers, is that they are much longer, so they're more difficult to maneuver. But that's all right. We'll just make do with what we got. I mean, really, I told you before, and it truly is the case. The grass here at this point in the series is not here just to help us along. It's really here just for the sheep at this point, right? There's really no reason for us to have a big, massive grass field as it currently sits, because we've got a lot of other things going on, and we've got enough going on with all these other things that it's not that feasible anymore. We're going to keep that silage pole, because there's definitely going to be the case where, you know, we might have an extra bale or two that maybe we can throw in there. Like right now, because there's baby sheep in there. I see some babies. They are reproducing. That's great. But, you know, until that whole sheep pen is completely full, the odds are we're going to have a little bit of extra that can be put into the silage pole and make us a little bit of money. Speaking of that, I don't think I talked about it. Maybe I did, but I don't think I talked about it. We do have silage over there that we can sell today, too, which is going to help. There's evidently hail in the forecast today, if you look in the top right corner. Will that get here before we're done? I have no clue. But we do have hail. All right, so now, I mean, there's a couple little straggler spots that I could mow, but I'm not too concerned about it. Now it's just a matter of us getting these little corners here that are a little bit more difficult. When you're mowing and trying to bale together and you turn the corner, the baler doesn't always get that edge of where it was mowed at, which is kind of expected, right? But it just does mean that we have to do some, I don't know, odd turns often to try to get these. I think that's pretty much it, so we'll go ahead and turn this off. Oop. And we'll go ahead and unload those. Perfect. And we'll fold that up. So we got 3 bales of grass, and we had 4 bales of straw, I believe. Not terrible. One of those bales is going to come over here to the sheep, I think, for the time being. I think I want to keep 4 over here for the time being, and then once maybe they get a little bit more, once they have a little bit more time to reproduce and there's more sheep in here, then we probably will start adding more than 4 over here just to make sure that they're constantly good. They always have food there. But for the time being, with how little of sheep are in there and how much space there still is, I think 4 is sufficient. And we'll kind of monitor it as we move along, right? If it gets to be a point where, you know, they're not fully maxed out on their capacity, but, you know, they start to eat through the 4 a lot faster than we're expecting. You know, maybe they're eating through 2 per episode. Maybe then we'll start adding 6 or something. Who knows? But that is all done. Very happy with how all that turned out. It was a bit of a long time lapse, but sometimes those are necessary, right? So now it's just a matter of us picking up these bales and kind of placing them around. Now the straw, I don't remember when... I say this every single time I feel like I look at the menu here, but I don't. I don't remember when straw is best to sell. We're just going to be selling it. I'm not worried about putting another animal down at this point in the series. We're just selling it for some extra profit here. And we need to go the other way because straw, for whatever reason, unlike the silage and everything else, straw is up here in the main area. Once again, it's not good till December, so it's not... I mean, the price doesn't really fluctuate all that much, but still, we want to sell when it's best. So we'll put it in here in the shed. We probably have to move some stuff around here. I suspect some of the stuff is going to be inside of each other, like I mentioned in the last episode. I don't know if it'll let me pick up 2. I'm pretty sure it allowed me to pick up 2 last time when I had this on the back, but we'll see. I'll try to stack them on top of each other and see what happens. Now, I know I recently talked about one of the other series that's on the channel. It's the series that's loosely based on real-life events from my life. It's the Barker Family Farm series. It had been put on a little bit of a delay due to my sickness that I was dealing with. It will be back. I think I mentioned it was going to be back probably Wednesday of this last Wednesday. I don't know when this video is coming out, but the Wednesday before this one. It did not come out then. I can tell you that right now. It did not. But I am in a much better shape now to go ahead and get it done. So I've got part of it recorded. I need to finish the recording. So that will more than likely happen. Yeah, they're inside of each other, so I need to move that. That will more than likely happen maybe today. If it doesn't happen today, it'll happen tomorrow at the time of this recording at least. There we go. That's a little bit better. So we'll see, right? So but I want to apologize in case it has not already been released yet. That's the reason why I was dealing with the sickness. I thought I was in good shape, and then cough came back for a little bit. I don't know why. I don't know if it was just maybe some allergies that were happening or what, but it came back for a little bit, so I was a little concerned. And I said before, that series, I really wanted my voice to be in tip-top shape, I guess. I didn't want it to sound off at all, especially if I'm going to... And I haven't yet, but I don't know if I will. I might attempt it, probably terribly, but I might attempt, doing a different voice, trying to make my voice sound something different for somebody else that might show up. That's a bit of a hint, a bit of a spoiler, I guess, but we'll see. If it doesn't happen, then I'll probably just use AI or something. Who knows? And by AI, I mean just utilize a voice, a text-to-speech AI thing. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know the exact terminology for it. It's something like that. Okay, can you please just please? Thank you. I tried that like 5 times, and nope, we're not going to do it. Nope. All right, good. So we put these away. Literally, we just need to plow this field up. I don't think any rocks will spawn. We will need to do a tiny, tiny bit of lime, I think, up there on the top, which we missed last time. We just ran out of lime. But we've got plenty of lime now, but I don't suspect any rocks will pop up. If rocks do, that is something else we can, tack on to add for us to do, right? right, perfect. I really like that I'm able to kind of store, you know, equipment in there, but I can also, you know, take over that, take over bales and put them in there, and then it's perfectly fine. I like that a lot. All right, the bale for the sheep is over there, so we've got 4 bales again, which I'm happy about. Let's just take these 2, and we'll take them to the silage pole. I see no reason why we shouldn't at this point. This grass is going to mow back. We do need to do a second application of fertilizer on this grass, but it doesn't necessarily have to happen today. I probably should have just did it since I've got the fertilizer out right now. It was not going to take that long, but I'm going to wait because I already talked about we're going to, you know, kind of put some gravel or dirt or something down over here by the chicken coop anyway today, so might as well just wait until that's done. There's no reason for us to waste fertilizer on that area if it's going to be, you know, well, removed might not be the right word, but at least changed, right? I guess it would be technically removed depending on the situation. Ooh, the grass is heavier. I guess that makes sense. Alright, here we go. And we've got to sell the silage still, so make sure you remind me in the comments in case I for some reason forget about it. I shouldn't. There's not much left for us to do today. But in case I do, we got to go sell the silage. I probably should go... Actually, I'm going to go sell it right now. Yeah, we'll do the plowing after that. I'm going to sell it right now. The reason why I'm going to sell it right now is because I've mentioned before, I don't want it, you know, to be super unrealistic. And if I wait, some of that grass we just put in there is going to turn into silage. So we might as well go ahead and get, you know, get what's in there and sell it now, so that way, you know, we minimize that as much as possible. We'll jump into the Fiat for that. We'll get that done, and then once that's done, we'll jump. We'll still be in the Fiat, but we'll hook up the plow and we'll get that field plowed up. All right, we're nearly done here, and rocks definitely are getting thrown up, as you can see. Quite large rocks, so we are going to have to take care of these over here, but that's perfectly fine, man. That's more lime for us. I'm fine with that. It does not bother me at all. Actually enjoyed doing it when we utilized that rock picker, I guess, whatever you want to call it. So this is all done, which is good. We're not going to worry about the rocks today. Or the lime or anything like that today. We can worry about that for another episode. So let's go ahead and put this away. We're going to head on over to the chicken coop, buy a couple of chickens, and then we will probably move over the small amount of wheat that we do have in our silo for those chickens, and hopefully that'll be sufficient to them for a little while. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and do it right now. We're right here. Might as well do it now and drive over there with it. Takes a long time for that honey to be built up, I tell you what. I mean, we only have 2, to be fair, I guess, but I really thought it would be... We'd have a lot more honey than that by now, but we don't, so... Anyway. So I should be able to just drop it off somewhere in this vicinity, I think. Well, maybe not. I'm going to have to turn on the icons here, the beacons here. I swear it was right here. Hopefully I didn't put this down and then we can't even utilize it. I didn't test it. I normally would test those kind of things, but I did not. Yeah, it says right there. I don't know why it's not allowing me to unload it there, but it does say it's literally right here. There it goes. You just got to get really close to it. Okay. That's a big trough right there they've got. That's good. That's a good thing. I like that. So just to kind of give you a little bit more ballpark idea of how this is all going to work here. So obviously the food's there. We buy the chickens there. The pallets of eggs should spawn right here in this vicinity. I don't know if I can open up any of these doors or not. I'm assuming I can't. Oh, I can't open that door. Oh, that's kind of cool. So if I want to, I can open it up and they can just roam around here free if they really want to. But they've got plenty of room in here. They've got different boxes and things to climb up to and have all kinds of fun in here. And they're completely out of harm from any kind of predators of any sort, really. The only predators that could probably get them is right here. They jump over top. But again, my house is kind of facing that, so I should be able to hear the chickens and the sheep no problem. So if there's any kind of predators, I can come out there and try to help them. So I know the rooster doesn't really do anything. Everyone's told me that, but I'm going to buy one anyway. I'm going to buy... Let's buy 10 of these. That gives us enough room for 20 more chickens, so they can reproduce 20 chickens for us. And we'll go with that. But there they are. Happy in their new home. Having a good time. We're going to leave the episode at that point, gang. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would greatly appreciate it if you smashed the like and the subscribe button for me. Both of those things help me out an absolute ton. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, ideas, feel free to let me know down below in the comments. I'm happy to get back to you on those. If you want to become a member, early access to videos like this one, a link is down below in the description. Discord's down there, completely free to join that. Everything you need, as always, it's down below. Thanks so much for your continued support. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much to my 11 members. Cannot thank you guys enough. And until next time, we'll see you all in the next episode.